problem in tonight's homework? So we've got this x plus 2 and the x plus 6. Well, there's a lot of different orders you could do it in, but what did directions say to do first? Rewrite them in general form. Generally, you just multiply it out. So go ahead and do that. Multiply it out. And what did you get for that, Sarah?
Y equals x squared plus 8x plus 12.
Excellent. And already I know the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? 12. So if I were needing to graph this, which I do, I need to graph the y-intercept of 12. But unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, boo, it won't quite fit. I'm just going to say it's up there somewhere. Okay. Next, I have a second here. Y-intercept was 12. And if I wanted to put this in a point, the y-intercept is where what is what? The y-intercept is where, finish that sentence, x is 0. So I could say 0, comma 12 if I wanted to. The x-intercept is where what? Y is 0. And the x-intercepts are also known as the roots, and you have a fast way of finding them. What is the roots in this case? X equals -2 and x equals -6. What you cannot write is -2 comma -6. Why? Because it makes it look like one's an x and one's a y. So you either have to write exactly this, x equals -2 and x equals -6, or you could write -2 and -6. Don't put a comma between them, because otherwise it looks like you told me an x and a y. All right, next is axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry goes right between the -2 and the -6. I'm going to put a -2 on here. I'm going to put a -6 on here. And now the axis of symmetry runs right down the middle of them, which is right there. What's the equation for it? It always starts with an x equals. Don't forget that, because it's an up-down line. That's an x equals, and what is it in this case? -4. Good. And the vertex then has to be somewhere on that line. Don't know where, but I can tell that's not right, because I'd go over 1, up 1, it wouldn't work. Here I could go over 1, up 1, then I'd go over 2 and up 2. Does that sound right? No. So you can just keep sliding around until you find it, or you can say this. I know I'm going to have to go over 2, and what goes with that? Up 4. That tells me how far to go. I should go how far? 4. Do you get what I'm saying? If I know this is over 2, then I know that the 2 squared will always give me 4, so I should move 4. If I had been from the dotted line to the edge, if I'd have been 3 there, what would I have used then? 9. All right. One of yours on your homework today, wait a minute, I finished this. This spot right here is the vertex, and so it's at -4, -4. Notice how the x-axis of symmetry always gives you the first part. It always gives you your x of your vertex. Okay. One of your homework problems is going to do this to you. Here's a dot. Here's a dot. Well, the axis of symmetry is not hard. It runs right between them. And so you'll go, okay, it's like x equals 3.5. But then the question is, what should the vertex be? And a lot of kids get stumped here. Use that method I just told you. Remember how we said when this was 2, we square it and we knew we had to move down 4? Or if this had been 3 to the dot, then we would have moved down 9. How far is it from here to here? And we always square that. So you take the half distance there, and you take the half and you square it. Can you do that in your head? 0.25, which is the same as 1/4. That tells you how far down to go. You see what I'm saying? I know this distance right here squared is how far down I should go to get to my vertex. Here it was 2, so we go down 4. If it was difference was 3, then we go down 9. Here the difference is half, and so you'd square it. Half squared is 0.5 times 0.5, which is 0.25, down 1/4. All right, so there's your first one, and a little tip about one that's going to happen later in your homework. And I think that's enough recording for today.